going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chucky, I didn't say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you're having a great day. Got a good one. Now, the last time I put Karen on the title of a video, got a lot of people telling me that wasn't a Karen. And I understand your point. And, I will appreciate your opinions and I hope you appreciate mine. Hopefully I got it right this time, though. I think this is a Karen. And yeah, let me know if I'm right or wrong. All right, before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick back flips. Let's go.
For an informal hearing? I can't hear you.
We will go second one.
Okay, so let's call that case. SP 4370763, recalling it. This is State of Michigan versus Elise Ann Sumter Demnick. Let the record reflect that I previously called this case. I explained the defendant the options this morning. She wanted to go for an informal hearing. She indicated she sent an email to the court. We're retrieving the email. I then stated the consequences of going through an informal hearing. Have you changed your choice in this matter?
Yes, we will go for guilty with an explanation.
Okay, what would you like the trooper to hear?
First off, if I receive a ticket for 4 points, I will lose my job. I work at a dealership. I'm a warranty administrator. I cannot be insured by the dealership chain. Second off, the email documentation I sent over as I was trying to.
Okay, wait a minute, Ms. Sumter.
Yep.
I'm sensing through the Zoom, and I may be wrong, like a lot of attitude. Okay. If you want to argue this case, I have a clear docket after this. I am glad to give you all the time that you want to present the case that you want for an informal hearing. The risk on the informal hearing is that you may exit the hearing with the ticket being dismissed and no points. It's either or you'll exit the hearing with a ticket going 16 to 20 over. Okay, that's your choice. In your heart of hearts, if you do not believe that you are responsible, you should have the hearing that you want. If you do not want to take that risk, the middle option is admitting responsibility, but here are the mitigating circumstances. You sat through the whole hearing with Sergeant this morning. You saw what people did, how they conducted themselves, and how that was received by the sergeant. No guarantee you're getting the same deal. So if you want to go for the full informal hearing, I'm happy to do that for you. I'm getting the email, and if you don't like the outcome on the informal hearing, either the sergeant or you can file an appeal and have the matter heard with the trial judge. Okay? Those are your options. I'm glad to do anything for you that you would like this morning.
I apologize if I'm coming across as having attitude. I have a lot of things going through my head that I want to say right now, so I'm trying to get them all out before I forget them.
So what do you want to do? Because I'm happy to give you the hearing.
We will do the secondary option.
Okay. Go ahead. Tell the officer what was going on at the time, mitigating circumstances, how you conducted yourself on the stop, that you would like him to consider to perhaps show you grace.
Mitigating.
So the first is you can't live with a 4-point ticket. It would have severe consequences for your employment and insurance, and therefore, could you have some consideration, please? I heard that.
Okay.
All right. What's the next point?
Secondary. I was trying to get past several cars that were behind him going below the speed limit on the expressway. I do not feel that my vehicle reached the limit that he has documented on there. based on the email I did send over, because unfortunately I work in automotive. I deal with multiple variations of problems with vehicles. I just had the transmission replaced in my Jeep as of yesterday.
Okay.
The component that was bad was the valve body, which controls the fluids running through the transmission, which means the vehicle would not shift to accelerate from 70 miles per hour to
Okay,
80.
it sounds to me you're not accepting responsibility, that you're saying there's no way. Do you want a hearing? Because you're accepting responsibility. So I don't know why we're fighting about whether or not you went the speed limit. You said, I admit responsibility for the ticket as written, and now we're getting into, I had bad belts and my engine couldn't do this. You've admitted responsibility. So that means I admit I was going what the ticket says I did, and here's why.
So here are the
This is why I'm asking the court to show me, not the court, the state of Michigan to show me consideration. Okay. I
here's
have your email. Go ahead.
Okay. The factors, though, if I go to a trial and there is 1% off on this, I could be hit with 4 points and lose my job.
Okay. Uh,
Uh,
every action has consequences. That is the truth of life. I get the repair order. I got you had to check engine light. Okay. We're not getting into whether or not the car was going what it did because you admitted responsibility. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not getting into that the ticket is wrong. We're assuming by your selection, the ticket is right. You've asked saying that you have a financial worry. You have risk to your job. I've heard that the circumstances on the road were that people were driving slowly behind the cop, as people tend to do on the road when they see a cop. And therefore you sped up, and you don't think it was possible, or that you could maybe were not aware that you were going as fast as the officer paced you at. Is that
Correct.
Have I summarized it correctly?
Correct.
Okay. Anything else you'd like the sergeant to consider?
And I do apologize for having an attitude with you. I was highly stressed out. It was the anniversary of my father's death, and I was trying to get over to the cemetery to put flowers out, and then hit my boyfriend's house because I needed a hug.
All right, I think that's a good time to pause it. So she said she's sped by an officer. Never a good idea. Even if they're driving slow, I mean, I guess if you're driving the speed limit, go ahead and do your thing. But yeah, if everyone else is slow down, don't be that one person that flies by him. And she apparently flew by him when I say flew, she sped by him, faster than the speed limit. Not a good idea. Her excuse for speeding, I mean, makes sense. She was having a bad day. Cars are, everyone feels so protected in their car, and, everyone that incurs road rage, whether or not it's against you or you're doing it to someone else, it's because you feel protected in your car. If you were outside in person, chances are you wouldn't say or act the same way. Anyways, don't speed by an officer. And yeah, she does have a little bit of attitude. Again, am I right or wrong on the Karen?
I'm sorry, I lost my dad 10 years this year, and I know what the car ride to the cemetery is like. It can be triggering. So when you say my attitude, is that to me or to the officer when he pulled you over?
To the officer when he pulled me over, and I do apologize if I'm giving you an attitude now.
Okay. So one time when I was a young lawyer, I was more aggressive than I thought I was, and this very learned judge told me this saying, you get more bees with honey than with vinegar, and I had no idea what it was. And then I learned that if I was less whatever the word is, that sometimes things work out better for me. So keep that in mind, please. Sergeant James has a job to do on the side of the road, and when he sees someone driving, he doesn't know that you're coming from the dad's cemetery. He knows that you're breaking the law. He knows that you're driving in dangerous conditions, and he and the fellow officers, they risk their life pulling people over and being on those roads. It's just a couple months ago that one of these officers were killed, doing a stop. And they have you have your agenda for the day, ma'am, of it's a really bad day for you. You know, it's the anniversary of your dad's death. You're trying to get somewhere. You're upset. People are in your way, but you are traffic to other people. Do you understand me? Like, you're presenting danger to other people who really, you know, it's irrelevant about how our feelings are. We have to keep everybody safe. And being angry to Mr. James, who's taken an oath to keep people safe, you know, or being angry to this court that there are 4 points assigned to your ticket. We can't do anything about that. That doesn't make your situation better. I understand. I know how you felt that day. I have that day once a year myself, and I appreciate the emotion at play. Okay, so officer, having heard the explanation from Ms. Sumter, is there anything you would like the court to consider?
Well, ma'am, I appreciate Ms. Sumter admitting to somewhat of her attitude. I'd say it's extremely rude at the time, extremely hostile at the time. And once again, she did not admit any type of responsibility at the time. It was completely argumentative, without any type of real explanation other than it was not possible. Once again, I feel she hasn't admitted responsibility today, or taking any responsibility for her actions today. With that being said, however, I don't want anyone to jeopardize their employment. I am willing to offer a reduction that will qualify her for the basic driver improvement course, which if she passes, will wipe all the points off on her end. But I'd like to offer a reduction to a limited access speed, 11 miles an hour over.
A limit.
All right. This is a nice officer. And I want to see the body cam. I want to see the attitude that she brought towards him during the traffic stop. Now, if you're thinking this isn't a Karen, she just is trying to fight a ticket, this is when it gets good. I promise, this is when it gets good.
Limited access 11 plus, or there's a weird breakdown in that. Let me just look. Limited access, is it the 11 to 15 over? Or
The
6
base
to
11,
10?
the
6 to
11 miles
10?
an hour.
I spoke over you and I need
The
you to
11 miles an hour.
11. Okay, 11 plus. Okay, so he's reduced this from the 16 to 20 point, which I don't even know how many points that is, to 11 over, which is $170, and it's lesser points, right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any objection to that, Ms. Sumter?
Ma'am, I just Googled it. It is 3 points, and I cannot have more than 2 on my license.
Okay, well, this is what he's offering, and this is where we are. Oh, by the way, we don't control the points, so I can't write on here only assess 1 point. That's between you and the Secretary of State.
Unfortunately, can't have 3 points on my license. I will lose my job. Anything above 2.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's where we are in the hearing. That this is the offer being made to you.
I guess I have to accept the offer, unfortunately, and I'm going to be jobless.
Additionally, what you're looking up, ma'am, is incorrect. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I stated.
Okay, let's just clarify this.
And you do have the ability through the Secretary of State to wipe those additional points if you pass a driving course. Completely wipe those points.
Yeah, it's called being able to take the time off of work to do that. I take care of my
It's
son.
online.
Okay,
It's called the basic
we're
driver
not,
improvement
okay,
course.
listen, we're not getting in for tit for tat. Ma'am, we've been over backwards to accommodate you here today, and because it's a limited access, 11 over, I do believe it's 2 points, but that's between you and the Secretary of State. But here, you've admitted responsibility. We've gone through everything. I've spoon fed you this as much as possible, but you continue.
All right. I'm sorry. The video was taken down. I think it was too spicy for the internet and they knew it, so they removed it quickly. That's all I got of it. I'm going to assume that she accepted that deal. She got 2 points. She pretty much told the court what she could and couldn't do, which isn't a good way to go about things. But let me know. Is this a Karen, or am I still wrong on what a Karen is? If I'm still wrong, you know what? I'll stop putting Karen in my title because I don't want to keep being wrong. but I think it is. I'm fairly confident that you guys are going to agree with me. All right. You guys all enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you later. Until next time.